In the heart of a bustling city street, where the evening sun dipped low and cast long shadows over cracked sidewalks, a single dad named Alex clutched his young daughter's hand tightly. Little Emma, just 6 years old, skipped along beside him, her backpack bouncing with the weight of schoolbooks and dreams. But in an instant, everything changed. A piercing scream shattered the hum of passing cars and chatter. Alex froze, his heart pounding like a war drum. There, in a dimly lit alley just off the main road, a young woman was backed against a wall by 3 burly thugs, their sneers twisted with malice. One grabbed her arm, demanding her purse, while the others laughed cruelly. The street around them buzzed with oblivious pedestrians, until Alex made his move. What happened next didn't just stop the thugs, it silenced the entire street in seconds. But to understand the power of that moment, we have to go back to where it all began. If this story grips you from the start, hit that like button and subscribe for more tales of everyday heroes that will leave you inspired, because you never know when one act of courage can change everything. Alex hadn't always been a single dad. 3 years ago, his world had crumbled when his wife, Sarah, lost her battle with cancer. She was the light in their lives, the one who turned ordinary days into adventures. Now, it was just him and Emma, navigating the chaos of life in a cramped apartment on the edge of the city. Alex worked 2 jobs, a mechanic by day and a delivery driver by night, to keep the roof over their heads. Mornings were rushed breakfasts and school drop-offs, evenings were homework battles and bedtime stories where he tried to weave in the magic Sarah once brought so effortlessly. He was exhausted, his broad shoulders slumping under the weight of grief and responsibility. But Emma was his anchor, her innocent giggles a reminder that he couldn't afford to break. That fateful evening, they were walking home from Emma's ballet class. She twirled in her pink tutu, chattering about pirouettes and how she wanted to be a dancer like mommy. Alex smiled faintly, but his mind was elsewhere, bills piling up, a leaky faucet he couldn't fix, and the nagging fear that he wasn't enough for his daughter. The street was alive with the usual urban symphony, vendors hawking hot dogs, cars honking, a street musician strumming a guitar. Then came the scream. It wasn't just any cry, it was raw terror, slicing through the noise like a knife. Alex's instincts kicked in. He pulled Emma behind him, his eyes locking on the scene unfolding in the alley. The woman, mid-20s, with wide eyes and trembling hands, clutched her bag like a lifeline. She looked so much like Sarah in her younger days, the same determined chin, the same spark of defiance amid fear. The thugs were rough types, tattoos snaking up their arms, one wielding a switchblade that glinted under the streetlight. "Hand it over, lady, or we'll make this ugly," the leader snarled, his voice a gravelly threat. Passers-by glanced but kept walking, their faces etched with the city's unspoken rule, "Don't get involved." But Alex couldn't walk away. Not when Emma's small hand squeezed his, her voice whispering, "Daddy, is she okay?" Memories flooded him, Sarah's final days, how helpless he'd felt watching her fade. He'd vowed then never to stand by while someone suffered. Yet doubt gnawed at him. He was no hero, he was just a tired dad with a kid to protect. What if he got hurt? What if Emma saw something traumatic? The challenges piled up in his mind like storm clouds. He wasn't built for fights, his hands were calloused from wrenches, not fists. And these guys looked dangerous, the kind who'd escalate without a second thought. Still, something deep inside stirred, a quiet resolve born from loss. Alex took a breath, his heart racing. He didn't charge and swinging, that wasn't his way. Instead, he stepped forward, pulling out his phone with one hand while keeping Emma shielded. "Hey," he called out, his voice steady despite the adrenaline. The thugs turned, sizing him up with mocking grins. "What's it to you, Pops?" one sneered. The street began to hush, a ripple of curiosity spreading. People slowed their steps, phones emerging from pockets. Alex's mind raced for a plan. He remembered Sarah's words, "Strength isn't always in muscles, it's in outsmarting the storm." So, he didn't threaten. He didn't plead. In one swift move, he hit record on his phone and held it high, live streaming to his social media, the one he barely used, but it had a few hundred followers from his old high school days. "Everyone, look at this," he said loudly, his voice projecting like a beacon. "These three are harassing this woman right here on Elm Street. I'm Alex Rivera, single dad, and I'm not letting this happen. Call the cops if you're watching, location pinned." The effect was electric. The thugs faltered, their bravado cracking as they realized they were on camera, exposed to the world. But Alex didn't stop there. He turned to the gathering crowd, his words cutting through the tension. "You all see this? This could be your sister, your daughter. We don't walk by anymore. Stand with me." Emma, peeking out, added her tiny voice, "Be nice, like Mommy said." In seconds, the street transformed. Whispers turned to murmurs, then to shouts of agreement. Phones lit up like fireflies, more people filming, dialing 911. The thugs exchanged panicked glances, their power evaporating under the glare of collective scrutiny. One muttered a curse and bolted, the others following suit, vanishing into the shadows. The woman slumped against the wall, tears streaming, as the crowd erupted in cheers. But then, silence fell, not from fear, but from awe. The entire street had frozen, absorbing the moment. One man's simple act had turned bystanders into allies, thugs into cowards. Alex knelt to hug Emma, his own eyes misty. "You okay, kiddo?" She nodded, beaming. "You saved her, Daddy." The woman approached, her voice shaky. "Thank you. I don't know what would have happened." Her name was Mia, a teacher heading home from work. She reminded Alex so much of Sarah that it hurt, but in a healing way. As sirens wailed in the distance, the crowd patted him on the back, strangers becoming friends in an instant. But the story didn't end there. That night, Alex's live stream went viral. Shared across social media, it amassed thousands of views by morning. Reporters called, dubbing him the viral vigilante dad. Offers poured in, donations for Emma's dance lessons, job leads that paid better. Yet the real change was internal. Alex faced his deepest challenge, his grief. In saving Mia, he'd reclaimed a piece of himself, proving he could be the protector Sarah always knew he was. Weeks later, life settled into a new rhythm. Emma danced with renewed joy, Alex fixed that leaky faucet with a smile, and Mia became a friend, joining them for occasional dinners. She shared her own story, escaping an abusive past, rebuilding alone. Their conversations peeled back layers of pain, forging bonds from shared vulnerability. Alex learned that heroism wasn't about grand gestures, it was about showing up, even when scared. One evening, as Emma slept, Alex sat with Mia on the porch. "I almost walked away," he confessed. "Fear nearly won." She touched his hand. "But it didn't. That's what matters." In that quiet moment, hope bloomed, a tentative romance, perhaps, but more importantly, a reminder that from ashes, new life grows. The incident sparked a community movement. Neighbors formed watch groups, apps for real-time alerts. Alex spoke at local events, his message simple: we're all single dads, or moms, or anyone, in some way, carrying burdens alone. But together, one move can silence the chaos. His words inspired thousands, proving that courage is contagious. As the sun set on that transformed street, Alex walked with Emma and Mia, hand in hand. The world felt a little less daunting, a little more connected. And in the end, that's the inspiring truth: in a moment of crisis, one person's stand can jolt an entire community awake, turning silence into solidarity. If this story moved you, touched your heart with its raw emotion and triumphant spirit, do me a favor, smash that like button right now. It helps spread these tales of real heroism to more people who need a spark of hope. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. We've got more stories coming, ones that dive deep into the human soul, challenge the odds, and leave you feeling empowered. Who knows? The next one might just change how you see the world. Thanks for watching, and remember, your one move could be the silence that saves the day.